Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Microsoft Excel Workshop Day 2. At Day 1, we talked about a lot of points that were important for us to master Microsoft Excel. Yet, today Mr. Tai Chu Tak will guide us much more on how to use Microsoft Excel. From here, I'll pass the microphone to Mr. Tai Chu Tak. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. Thank you, everyone. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, to come into this session. If you are ready to start, if you are excited, could you type excited again? Same thing, type excited in the chat. Yes, today I have much more thing to do, and today we will be going a bit faster. If let's say yesterday the level was about 1 or 2, today will be level 5 or 6. It will be a huge jump. Whenever you are possible to follow, please follow along, and remember to download the file from this drive, Google Drive. Just download and keep all the file in your computer, because later we are going to use the file for our subsequent practices. Okay, so now we are going to start with the very first topic. Okay, let me quick recap on what are the things we have agreed to learn today. We're going to learn about VBA, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, pivot table, chart, and some data cleansing. So there's a lot of things to cover. So I just now, before we start, I was contemplating, should I give more, should I give less? Okay, it's a tough decision because there are 5 topics there. Okay, so I will go slow and steady, and I will attempt to cover all 5. And towards the end, whenever the time permits, I will address some Q&A. If you are not able to follow along, I will encourage you to do this. So that means you want to prepare yourself for success. So that means you are able to follow the steps one by one, so without having some struggle there. So these are the things I want to quick remind you for this one. Learning the right way. The first thing, your phone on the silent mode whenever possible, and if you are not using the phone, attempt not to check any messages either on your computer or on your phone, because a slight distraction, you will miss out the big time. So that's a pre-warning. We are going to cover more things. And sitting posture is very, very important. Find a place that you are able to sit straight whenever your body is possible. Sit straight, then you're able to focus much more better. And best of all, keep a drinking water next to you if you're not fasting. So I will encourage you to keep yourself hydrated. Chat, we are going to use a lot of chat here, and keep yourself excited, engaged as well. And take a lot of notes, because we are going to, the best of all, you can take the notes inside the exercise file where you are able to download from Google Drive, and participate and ask questions. So these are things you want to take part, and you want to make sure you are able to follow along and set yourself for success. So we are going to cover a lot more things today, especially this evening. So very first thing we want to cover is about the macro. So I want to invite you to open a blank file. Yes, okay, blank file. Just a blank Excel file. Then you are able to, now we are going to do some macro. What does it mean by macro? Some people call it VBA. That means some programming inside Excel that is able to perform some routine tasks for you. So there are many methods of creating the VBA or macro. So one of the easiest method is using recording, just purely recording. I do not want to go inside the coding part of it, because that one is a bit overwhelmed to certain people. So therefore, I will just go for an easy start. You just follow this one. Almost a lot of small tasks you are doing at this present moment, it could be automated. Yesterday, there was one of you asking for about, is it possible there's some way you are able to change the report header? If I say I want to send this one to the department A, I want to use the report header for department A. If this is department B, I want to change it to department B. So I have to change on the same page or same Excel sheet, but it has 2 different headers. So this is something you are able to do it using recording. So now let's get started. Let's go to your Excel file. So this Excel file, and you can see there's a circle on my mouse. So that means I'm, okay, let me do some changes here. Okay, yeah, that'll be better. Let's see, am I getting it right? Yes, correct. So that means you're able to see the movement. Whenever I click this, it turns to a bit light blue. So you're able to see I'm clicking and holding. If I'm right click, the circle is smaller. So this is right click. So you're able to follow along and you're able to see what am I working at this present moment. So now let me zoom in and let me key in some data, some report. Since the blank file, I will say this is report for entire department. Okay. So just keep it simple. Maybe I just want to put some icon or maybe some smiley face. Let me put a smiley face here. Okay. And let me put some colors. Okay. Now we just have something like this. And now I'm going to send this to 2 potential departments using same report, And the header, it will be changing. Yesterday, we learned how we are able to change the report header is via the page layout. Inside page layout, you will see there's a launch dialog. So this is a page setup. Click on the page setup. It will bring you to a place called header and footer. So this is the place we are going to do some changes. And I want to have a macro allows us to switch between the header as and when we need to. So now I'm going to explain and we are going to do it together. We're going to do this together step by step. If you miss a certain task, you may want to redo the whole thing. So just follow along closely. And I will ask you to type some numbers. If you miss a certain step, at least I'm able to know where you miss and I'm able to repeat that. So just pay a little bit close attention and where is that thing? Okay, yeah. So now the very first thing I want to do is to make sure I have the developer ribbons here. If you do not see the developer ribbon, so now it's a good time for you to switch it on. So some of you may not have seen this. What you need to do is right click on any of the ribbon tab here. Right click any one of them. Just right click. And you will see something called customize the ribbon. Customize the ribbon. Inside customize the ribbon, you are able to see on the right side, you will see there's one of them, it says developer. So this is the thing you want to make sure is checked. After that, you press OK. Make sure that's tick before you press OK. So this is very important because later we will use this very often. And with this option, it will help you to do the automation a little bit easier. So now let me press OK. I have seen the developer ribbon here. If I'm able to see the developer ribbon, could you type number 1? This step number 1. Let me repeat, right click on any of the ribbon, just right click. Right click, you will see there's some option. There's one option says customize the ribbon. Customize the ribbon. Inside customize the ribbon, on the right side, currently says customize the ribbon. Going down, you will see there's one option says developer. Make sure there's a checkbox. Tick, then press OK. Once you have done, press number 1 in the chat so that I'm able to know you are able to follow up to this step. So basically, you only need to do it once for this step. Okay, thank you. And by the way, if you need me to repeat, please type in the chat. I'm monitoring the chat and progress using another device. Very good. So now let's go to developer. Let's go to developer. And on the right side, on the left side, you will see there's an option says record macro. There's an option says record macro. So these are the things you want to click. Let me click. Maybe this is a report for management. Okay, now I want to see, okay, let me see, okay, management, okay, MGMT. Okay, let me type MGMT underscore header. I just type in this name. And the name here, no space, special character is only allowed underscore. Uppercase, lowercase is perfectly okay. Special symbol like ampersand, $sign, everything is not okay. MGMT underscore header. So I'm going to create a header. especially for management report. That means I want to send this report to management. And you want to store this macro in this workbook. You want to store in this workbook. And then you press OK. And you press OK. Remember, after you press OK, whatever action you click on the Excel, any movement, it will be recorded as well. So therefore, do not click anything unnecessary on the spreadsheet. Even though you want to scroll up and down, resizing the windows, everything will be recorded. So that means Excel remember our action. Subsequently, we want to ask Excel to repeat it, Excel able to follow along. So this, just to make sure we do not want to give unnecessary instruction to Excel to perform. So now let's go and click OK. After this is selected, and on the bottom right, bottom left, on the bottom left, you will see there's an option says, looks like this icon. That means the recording is in progress. So that means recording is in progress. So just make sure. And after that, you want to go to page layout. And some of the computer, you may see either page or layout. Then I want to go to page setup. Page setup. Let's go to header and footer. Let's go to header and footer. And I just want to keep it simple. I go to custom header. Custom header. On the left section, I type the wording management report. I just type management report. In the actual context, you may want to add some other things, maybe the date and time, maybe the page number, everything is perfectly okay. So Alex, which one you want me to repeat? After recording or before recording? So let me complete this one and I will repeat again. So this is exactly the same step like what we have covered yesterday. I press OK and just press OK. That's it. After that, you go back to developer. You go back to developer and press stop recording. So I have done the step, this recording for the management report header. Okay, now I'm going to repeat the whole thing. And just in case you make some mistakes there, whatever mistake, maybe you have accident click, accidentally scroll up and down and do some changes and movement. Maybe you want to zoom in and zoom out. That is perfectly okay. Maybe you realize you will make some mistakes you want to redo. Whenever you want to redo all the recording again, this is a step you want to follow. You want to observe. Let me go a bit slower. And by the way, if you are using one computer on your one screen on your computer, you may want to split the screen into half. That means you may want to resize your Excel to be smaller, only cover half of your screen. Another half, you are only able to show your zoom. So that means you are able to see the action side by side. At the same time, you are able to follow much more smoother. Okay, so now I'm going to pretend I have made a mistake. I want to redo the recording. So this is a step you want to follow whenever you want to redo the recording. I just go to developer. Inside developer, I go towards the left side. You will see some macro. Just click on this from a developer and go towards the left side. Yeah. And you can see, okay, let me from this book. There's something called management header. So this is here, and I want to remove. When this is selected, you just press delete key. You just press delete key. Delete, and it will ask you for confirmation, and you just say yes, and it's gone for good. So now I'm going to reset the whole thing. And after the developer ribbon, if let's say you want to follow again, you may want to go to macros, make sure it is removed from a previous recording. Remember to stop recording before you delete. So now I'm going to start the whole thing again. Inside developer, record macros, So this thing you want to do, just click and you ask for the name. I type MGMT, means an acronym for Management Report. So I just type the name in here. So this is a macronym you want to key in. No space, uppercase and lowercase is okay. Currently, I just use all uppercase, so that it's easier to read from the screen. Underscore report. So this is the name I have given. Just given the name, and after that, make sure it stores in this workbook. Sometimes it will show something else, just to make sure it stores in this workbook. So that means the macro will be going together with this current file. That means when next time I want to send the file to my colleague or my friends or my classmate, they are still able to grab the same macro together with the file. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Husan, for sharing how to split the screen. Now, after that, let's continue and click on the OK button. Click on the OK button. Press OK. And now, after this is selected, I need to go to, so I started recording. One way to confirm inside developer, you will see the button here, it changes to stop recording. If you're able to follow up to this step, can you type number 1 in the chat again? If you are able to follow up to this step, can you type number 1 again? I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Yes, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, so now we are here. After that, I go to, now I'm going to perform formatting on the header. I just want to record, I want to perform the formatting on the header. Page layout. I just go to page layout. Inside page layout, the place where we are able to change the header and footer is in this button. Just click on this button. This will lead us to page setup. So now go to page layout and click on this button. It will lead us to page setup. So let's go to page setup. And I want to make sure I go to the header and footer. I want to go to header and footer inside here. If you're able to follow up to this tag, can you type number 2 in the chat? If you are able to follow up to this tag, can you type number 2 in the chat? I only see 2 persons. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, now it's up to here. The next thing I want to do is go and custom header. Just click on the custom header button. Custom header. And maybe I just want to dear management. Okay, this is special management report. Okay, I just give you a special name. Special management report. I put it on the left section. Special management report. And once you're done, you just need to press OK. Once you're done, you just press OK. To click on the page layout or some of the Excel version, you will see the word layout on the top on the menu. So it's the same place where we set the page header and footer yesterday. Okay, good. Now, after that, press OK, and you are able to see the header. It shows something like this, special management report. The page layout is on the top of the ribbon. It means one of the menu. Some version, it doesn't show the word page layout. Some version, it shows as layout. It means on the top here, you can see on the top. Yeah, this is the place Sometimes it shows layout, sometimes it shows page layout, depending on the version. And after that, you just click on the button here. Follow closely, follow closely. For those you are coming late, you just need to move on. I just need to follow. After you click this button, then you go to page, go to header and footer, header and footer. After that, you click on the custom header. Inside custom header, you just type special management report on the left section. On the left section. Now, before I press OK, if I'm able to follow up to this step, can you type number 3 in the chat? If I'm able to follow up to this step, can you type number 3 in the chat? Okay, once this is done, then I can press OK. I just press OK. Alex, you can follow the next round. Next round, I will show this again for the different header. Okay. So just press OK. And now we are going back to developer. We're going back to developer and click on the stop recording. Go back to developer and click on the stop recording. If I'm able to follow up to this step, stop recording, and remember, press OK on the page setup, then go back here, developer, stop recording. If you're able to follow up to this, press number 4 in the chat, type number 4 in the chat. If you're able to follow up to this step, press number 4 in the chat. Very good. So now I stop recording. So we have done the first round for the management header. And now I'm going to redo the second formatting for, maybe this is for supervisor. Okay, let me supervisor report. Same thing, but the header, I want to change a little bit. Supervisor report. Similarly, okay, for those you have missed the previous round, now you just want to follow this one and repeat this one for twice. Okay, so now let me repeat again. Go to developer. Let's go to developer. Record macro. Record macro. Click on the record macro. And the name you want to give is, maybe this is supervisor. I just type supervisor. I type the name supervisor and store, make sure it's in this workbook and press OK towards the end. So these are things you want to do. The name is supervisor, no special character, no space, just continuous one word. Then you press OK. So this will be the step 1 again. If you are able to follow up to this, can you type number 1 in the chat? Type number 1 in the chat if you're able to follow up to this step. Very good. And then I want to go and do the report header. That means I will go to page layout, click on the page setup, page layout. There's more button. This is called launch dialog. Just click on that. Just click on that. This is called page setup. Just click on that. If I'm able to click on this one, if you don't have, depending on your Excel version, if you do not see this, okay, now I will show a different thing. If you do not see this, you just press Control P. This will, okay, by the way, whatever thing I'm doing now, it will trigger additional steps. Just press Control P and you will see there's something called page setup at the bottom here. something similar. If you do not see the page setup, you will see after you press Control P, let me type on the screen, Control P, then you go to page setup. Usually it's there. So I go back here and I go, then I go to header and footer. If I'm able to go to the page setup and go up to header and footer, can you type number 2 in the chat? Can you type number 2 if I'm able to follow up to this step? Type number 2 in the chat. Very good. And now we want to go to the same place, which is custom header. I want to go to custom header. And now on the same place on the left section, I just change the title to supervisor report. I just change the left section to supervisor report, and then I will click OK after that. I will click OK after I type on the left section, supervisor report. I can press OK, and you can see inside the header and footer section, it changes to supervisor report. If I'm able to follow up to this step, can you type number 3 in the chat? If I'm able to follow up to this step, can you type number 3 in the chat? Very good. And now we are going to press OK. Let me go back and go back to developer. Go back to developer. And I want to stop recording. I want to stop recording. After you stop recording and you have completed the recording for the second round, can you type number 4 in the chat? After you have pressed stop recording, can you type number 4 in the chat? That means you have completed the recording. Very good. Awesome. Let me stop recording. And now I'm going to do a testing. First, I press Control P. I press Control P. I can see the header here. It says supervisor report. Now I want to change it to management report, the header. I will just need to go to developer, and going towards the left side, you will see there's a place called macro. Or the keyboard shortcut will be Alt F8. Alt F8 is the macro shortcut key. I go to macro or press Alt F8. You will see it has 2 macro here. One is called management report and another one is supervisor report. Just press Alt F8 is under developer. Go to the developer. Everything we want to do is inside developer ribbon. Going towards the left side, you have a name called macros or macros. So that's the place you want to go, or you can just press the keyboard shortcut Alt F8. Then you are able to see something like this. If I'm able to see up to here, or the keyboard shortcut go to here is Alt F8. Let me type it on the screen. Can you type number 5 in the chat? If I'm able to up to here, can you type number 5 in the chat? Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Now I'm about to run management report header just to make sure the management report is selected. And then you click on the button run. You click on the button run and it will somehow a quick flash and then you will see nothing changed. Let me click run. Okay. After that, you just go and press Control P, and you can see, let me see what's happening. Maybe it's because of the recording. Let me do this. Management report, run. Okay, let me see what's happening here. Okay, now I'm going to test to go to the code and see what goes wrong. Same. Supervisor, yes, this supervisor. This is special management report. It has this as well. Okay. It should work. Okay. If they said this it doesn't work, maybe I believe there's one more thing we want to do is we want to reset the header. We want to reset the header. Let me do a quick test it. Okay. Go to developer, record macro. Now I'm doing testing. I want to reset. Maybe I know why, because it's referring to the same thing. Okay, reset header. Press OK. Then go to page setup. Go to page setup. Go to header and footer. Just to select the header and footer here, because I believe it's referring to the same item. So therefore, it doesn't change. We are only changing this one, and towards Excel, it believes it's the same thing. So therefore, it doesn't change. Another way, sometimes this thing doesn't work. You may want to record the additional action just to reset the header. Sometimes this thing happens. So let me scroll. I do not see anything called management report. It doesn't say. So it is reusing the same item. So therefore, towards Excel, no changes has been made. So what I want to do is to record one more action just to set it to none. This is to force Excel to make it as blank again before we set it. Now let me press OK and we'll stop recording. Now I'll press Alt F8. I want to management report. Now it should be working. Yeah, management report. If let's say before I run the next one, which is the supervisor report, I want to make sure I have the reset header. I want to run this before I run the supervisor. Run this. Run is to reset the header, and Alt F8. I will run the supervisor. Control P. Yeah. Okay. Let me do this. Reset header first. Run. Control P. Does it work? Still management report. Let's see.
Maybe after you select reset, then you highlight as supervisor and then you run.
Okay, let me run the reset. Run. Now it should be still stays here. It's not because we're using this workbook. No. Okay. One of the reasons because the file has not been saved. I'm just speculating because all this while I'm testing. No, still okay. Selection, save, special reports. Okay. Okay. Let me use active sheet. This page setup. Reset. Okay. I have reset it. Okay. So let's see whether I'm able to do some troubleshooting. Print headers, footers, row is reset. It makes everything to blank. Okay. Go. Okay, sure. Control P. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, let's go and set the supervisor. Run. Control P, supervisor. Alt F8, and I go and reset the header. Run. Control P, it should be blank. Still stays there. Let me save the file. Because whenever we save the file, the behavior will be slightly different. Let me go and browse to my desktop. Book 1, save. Press Alt F8. Reset. Just now, I just stepped into. Just run. And press Control P. Still stays there. Okay. Runtime error. Runtime error. What is the runtime error message, Alex? Hey, oh, this management reports. Okay, I run the management report. Wrong one. I want to run reset. Step into. Cannot run macros. If you are editing the cell, any of the cell, it may not able to run correctly. Yep, now it is okay. I'm speculating because of the compilation has not taken place. No editing. Maybe you want to share your screen, Alex? Oh, on another laptop. Okay, so let's see. Now, let me recap what other things has happened. I know what is happening at this present moment. Okay, let me go and compile. I think after compile it should be working. Press F8. I want to reset. Press Control P. The header is blank. I press Alt F8 and I want to run this management report. Run. Control P. Yes, it works. Now press Alt F8. If let's say I straight away go to supervisor and hit run, it doesn't change. Let's go to reset header and press Control P. It doesn't change. Okay. If that is the thing. Okay, let's see how it works. Because on the coding wise, it works and okay. See whether if I'm doing some coding here, see whether does it help. Reset the header. Let's say application dot screen updating equal to false. Then okay, towards the end. Dot screen updating equal to true. Okay, let's reset the header. Control P. Reset header, run. Okay, it still doesn't reset. If I run in the slow motion, if I go to step into reset header, and somehow it's able to recognize. Okay, let's see, press Control P. Yeah, it's blank. No code change, just run a bit slower and the things just work. Interesting. Okay, so I have no idea what's happening. Okay, in summary, this is the things you could automate, and this is not so perfect because it has more coding you need to adjust. Let's scrap the idea about using the header and footer. How about I want to show the header and footer on the cell? This one, for sure, you're able to do it. Maybe I do not want to use the header and footer as per se. I want to do it something here. This is the header I want to show. So this one will be something easier to control. So let's change the approach. Let's change the approach. And I want to scrap the previous macro. Select them. I want to delete. Just now the thing doesn't work because the thing runs a bit fast and it doesn't pause in between. Whenever it pauses in between and it works. So now I just remove everything. Okay, now we are using a different approach here. The so-called header and footer, I want to show it on the cell rather than on the page header and footer. Rather than on the page and let me make sure I'm selecting nothing. Okay, can. I want to have the title here. Here, this will be the supervisor or management report. Supervisor report or management report. So this is the thing we want to change. So what I need you all to do is to select the cell and merge them across. After that, I'm going to do the recording. Similarly, go back to developer, go back to developer. Okay, let me redo. So I do that. Okay. So basically, I have select multiple cells from A1 to F1. I want to merge this one as one cell. When I say merge, it means instead of individual cells one by one, I want it to appear like a big giant cell where it is cutting across 5 or 6 cells here. I just select them. I go to home. Go to home. There's the option says merge and center. Inside home, there's something called merge and center. Just click merge and center and it appears in this way. Inside home, definitely is somewhere there, Alex. Yep. Just search inside middle. Okay. And now I just need to redo the recording and do the changes of the text here. This is much more easier. This is much more easier compared to just now. You go to developer, record macro, go to developer, record macro, same thing. And I want to give a name called supervisor. If you have not removed or deleted previous macro, and when you type the recording with the same macro name, it will ask you to override. You just say yes, because we are going to use something, a different approach for the header. I can press OK. Just press OK. Then go to here and A1, just click on the same place even though you are there. Just click on the same place even though you are there. Just click and you type supervisor and press enter. Yeah, after that, you press stop recording. Okay, this is the first step. Got it? For the first macro, if you're able to get the first macro, okay, to test the first macro, just remove the data inside. Just remove the data inside and click the cell any of the location. Just click the cell any of the location, then press Alt F8. Alt F8 inside supervisor. You only see one macro. If you are seeing others, you may want to remove them. And then you click run. And then you click run or you press enter or you double click. Either way, it still works. Run, you can see the wording supervisor appears. So that means this is done correctly. So this one is done correctly. Got it? Yes. Very good. If you are able to got it, can you type got it in the chat? If you are able to got it for this one, can you type got it in the chat? Yes. Simple. So this is way, way simpler compared to the previous step. Very good. We want to repeat the same thing. We want to repeat the same thing for management, the wording management. So now I want to go to developer, same place. I go to developer. Yes, something called record macro. Record macro. Just click on this. After you go inside developer. And I want to give a name called management. I type the full spelling. I call it management. I call it management. Make sure you store in this workbook and you will click OK after that. So click OK after that. Done. Then you just click on the same cell, click on the same cell on A1 here. Even though you are there, just click that once. And now you are going to type management. Just type management. After you have done, then you stop recording. After you type it, stop recording. So now what you need to do is just press Alt F8 and you will see there's two buttons, two options. One is called management, one is called supervisor. So your job is to click one of them and the wording or so-called the header inside the cell, it will change as per what you have recorded just now. It's just that simple. So now I will leave you all to test it for a while for about 30 seconds. Got it? Now it's for your testing. Supervisor, just go here, management and double click and got it. So test it for about 30 seconds. Any question, ask in the chat. The answer is yes, right? Yeah, the answer is yes, and you are able to test this one. You can able to run the macro in the different file as well. But everything it will goes back to A1. Everything goes back to A1. Yeah, how to test it? You just need to go to developer, macro, or the keyboard shortcut is Alt F8. Keyboard shortcut is Alt F8. And inside here, you can see as a name, just double click on the names of the macro you want to run or test. Just double click and you will change. You can see the changes on the spreadsheet. Have to type the command. Up to now, we do not use any command yet, so it's pretty straightforward. So this is about recording. So now after that, I want to do some fine tuning to make the thing easier to switch in between them. Currently, it's a bit troublesome. If I want to switch, I need to go to developer, macro, and just click. It is a bit troublesome because it's an extra step. That would be meaningful that we are able to run or trigger the macro just by a button. Just by a button. So now I want to invite you, go to developer. Go to developer, you will see as button, yes, option says insert. Developer, insert. Just to make sure it goes to insert. And we are going to add a button here inside the form control. We do not use ActiveX control now. We want to focus is on the form controls. Form controls. Just click on this for the button. So now I go to developer, insert, click on the button. You just drag it outside. Have both. Okay. When I do control P, I'm not quite sure. What do you mean by control P, man? Oh, okay. Just now the control P, the thing somehow it does work is only need to relay the timing. That one I need to go to the code level to do some cleanup. Because I want to make it simple, so I switch the approach rather than go to the page header and footer. I just do it on the cell. So Min got it. So just to keep it simple, because that one previously has some hiccup, need to touch up on the code level. So I want to keep it simple. So now, yeah, go over again. Let me do it again. Let me remove. Developer, insert. Okay, and developer, insert, form control button. Go in this manner. Developer, insert, form control, then this button you want to click. And you are able to select where you want to place the button. So let me show you. Developer, insert the button. Then I want to have it side here. Then after I click and let go of the mouse and you ask us, hey, which macro you want to assign? So maybe the first one I want to assign as the management. So I will just select management and press OK. Just select on the management and press OK. So click management and press OK. And this is the button you have. If you do not see anything, most likely you just need to remove the button and redo again. So now the button, it says button 2 is not elegant enough. I just want to change the name called management. It's called management. I could move it somewhere else. I want to move it. Okay. So if let's say after I click somewhere outside, I click on the button, it will be equivalent to trigger the management macro. Click, you can see it changes to management. So I'm not quite sure how to help you, Alex. Two options. Just go to insert, focusing on the form control inside here, not using ActiveX control. Okay. Okay, got it. So now I have it here, and somehow the management button here is blocking the view. I want to move it somewhere else. Whenever I click, it will just somehow triggering the macro. It prevents me from dragging or moving the button somewhere else. And now I'm going to share with you how I'm able to move this button somewhere else easily. Hold down your control key on your keyboard. Hold down your control key on your keyboard and click on the button. Just click on the button once. Let go of your control and move it somewhere else. I want to place it here so that it doesn't obstruct the view. And you're able to do the same thing again for the supervisor. Same step, exactly the same step. Developer, insert, then you are able to choose form control button. So these are things you could do. So let me show the screen here. Okay, my button 1 appears. Yes, got it. Now I will go to same thing, insert. I want to select, this is the size of the button. When I let go of my mouse, it will ask me which macro I want to assign. So I want to assign for the supervisor, and click OK towards the end. Yes, okay, when you hold down the control, when you drag and move, that means equivalent to copy. You just need to hold down the control key and click once on the button, not dragging. Dragging and while holding the control key, it means you are making a multiple copies. You are cloning, you are copying. Okay, press OK. And I want to give you a name. This will be supervisor. And click outside. When I click on the button supervisor, you can see it changes to supervisor. Click on the management, it changes to management. Maybe I want to make the size a bit larger. Increase the size, make it bold. Change the color. Okay. When I click on supervisor, it changes to supervisor. Click on the management, it changes to management. It doesn't work. Okay. Some of the steps may have missed. Okay, later I come back to you. Okay, if you are holding your control key and click on the button, even though you slight movement while you are holding your control key, while your control key is still on hold, while you move slightly, it still make a copy. You can see it make a copy. Even though a slow slight movement, it still make a copy. So this is because it's quite sensitive for computer, slight movement, it will trigger as copy as well. Yep, got it. For those who are unable to follow, I'm not sure, maybe you can ask the question towards the end. Show button 1 and button 2. Okay, how to rename? Very simple. Hold down the control key and click on the button once and let go of your hand on the control key. Yes, another way is right click and edit. Right click, there's something called edit text as well. Awesome, awesome. So if I want to move around, you can just hold down the control key and click, then you're able to move around. If you want to move it side by side, management, supervisor, management, supervisor. Yeah, so this is very simple way how you're able to do automation on Excel. Just how our step is only changing the text. In the actual step, you may have more steps here as well. Maybe I want to have some other formatting below as well. So hope this gives you some ideas what are the things you could do with the automation. Before we wrap up the session, any question before I want to introduce one more topic for this macro or VBA? Any question up to now? CRM, yes or no, depending on the complexity. Depending on complexity. No right, no wrong. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to save the file. I'm going to save the file. Remember to save the file as a macro-enabled workbook. These are the things you want to make sure whenever you save the file. Otherwise, if you save as a normal Excel file like XLSX, all the macro we have done just now, it will be gone for good whenever we close the file. It's gone, 100% gone. There's no way to recover that. Remember, not the normal Excel file. Save it as a macro-enabled workbook. This is a must. I encourage you to save the file now. I call it, this is a report. Okay, report. And save it as a macro-enabled workbook. Then save. So after this is done, now I want to share with you, close the file. The keyboard shortcut, just closing the file is Control W. Control W is to close the file. Control W is to close the file. And now I want to open the file again. So go to File, Report. And you will see something like this. Sometimes you will see this error. I think because of VB is still open. Let me close the VB, reopen again. Okay, I open. Most likely you will see a warning like this. Security warning, macro has been disabled. Macro has been disabled. Because this is your own macro and you trust yourself, then you are able to click on enable content. And a warning to you, do not simply click on enable content from the file. You have no idea where is the origin source. You have no idea who sent it, whether you are able to trust the person. Just for your information, by clicking on this enable content, it is able to remove some of your Excel file or some of your data, and the antivirus doesn't prevent that from happening. It's a genuine step. Just be careful. Do not simply click on enable content unless you trust the file and unless you trust whoever sent the file to you. Remember, do not simply click on enable content. So now, because this is, we have just created, I click enable content, and I can click on the management button. You can see it changes. Click on the supervisor, it changes as well. So everything just works perfectly. Yes, whenever this file sent to your classmate, your coursemate, and maybe sent to your lecturer, the macro is there as well. That's why I invite you, when you record the recording, we store the macro in this workbook. That means together with the file. So that is the reason. Okay, the difference between XLSM and XLSB. B is binary file. Binary file is smaller. M is still a markup language. Markup language, it looks something like this. Yes, a greater than, maybe this XML, maybe namespace, and S is equal to something, and yes, some tag. So this is called the markup language. Yep. So the M, the one with the M at the back for the file extension, is store the file in this markup language. And B will be binary, it will be smaller, depending on which one you want to use. And you can test it out. Okay, so far, any question? Calling once, any question? Calling twice, and any question? And so Yes. So we have just completed the recording and you are able to do a lot more recording somewhere else. Okay, good, good, good. So now we are going to move forward to the next one, which is the, let's see which one is a bit easier. Let's go for the data cleansing. Let's go for the data cleansing. This is quite fun. It's very fun. Download the file if you have not. Download the file if you have not. Is I think it's one of the link. Okay. Let me go and search for the link. Yeah, let me copy the link towards the chat again. Link towards the chat and download the file and save it to your computer. Download the file. This is a Google Drive. Download everything and save it to your computer. And then we want to use the file there because it will be much more complex and we want to shorten the time to prepare the data. We just want to go in and start learning, not so much on the data preparation. So just download the file. I will give you all for about 30 seconds for yourself to get yourself ready. 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, now we are going towards the learning about how we are able to do some data cleansing. So yesterday, some of you suggested you want to learn some data cleansing. There are a lot of methods of data cleansing. This is a good introductory, and for you to aware, if you have certain questions you want me to address, write it down somewhere on your paper, and towards the end, you only ask your question. So now we want to explain. Do you see something fishy about this set of data on the very first worksheet inside data cleansing? Anything fishy here? Can you type in the chat? What's wrong here? Yes, you're very sharp. You all have identified it's a repeated data. Some people call it duplicates. You can see all of them, they are identical. It's just duplicated and sometimes it happens in our work. And maybe the data we gathered from some other sources, we have forgotten we may download the data multiple times. When we combine all the data together and without removing or without have when the data duplicated, so that means our numbers or our analysis will be incorrect. Duplicate data. How you handle this? How you handle this? Some people say, I'm very hardworking. What I do, I will just glance line by line, make sure they are there. And I remember the keyboard shortcut just to remove the row is Control R or Shift R. Control R is to remove the row. Control minus is to remove the row. Okay, I know I'm hardworking, so I go this one by one. No, not this way, not this way. To remove the duplicates, very simple. You just need to go to data, and going towards the right side, you will see there's a button, looks like this. If you point at this, it will say remove duplicates. So this is the button you want to click. It says remove duplicates. Inside data and click on this button, it says remove duplicates. And when you click on that, it will prompt you, hey, which one you want to compare? So that means I have 3 columns here. I could choose which column I want to compare. Whenever it has the same thing on the subsequent line, it will be removed. Yeah, okay. So you can choose either the first one, second one, or everything. And it has a button, either you can select all or unselect all. So this is very useful when you have a lot of data, you just want to specify specific column for comparison. So now we want to compare everything and I just need to press OK. And you can see all the duplicate records, they are gone for good like this. And it only tells you how many duplicate has been removed and how many uniques remain. It doesn't show you which are the duplicates. It doesn't show you that. I can press OK. And now I have a clean, unique records here. Yes. So this is a very simple way how we're able to remove duplicates. And there are many methods we are able to remove duplicate as well. So hopefully this one gives you some awareness. Let me undo by pressing Ctrl Z. This is just for your information, If the data here, you can see alpha, and alpha. If the data I have some extra space at the back, the third alpha, I want to have 2 more space at the back. Visually, these 3 data, they are identical. The only difference is towards the end, the second alpha I have 1 more space. Meanwhile, here I have 2 more spaces, just spaces at the back. Just have 2 more space. Then if let's say I use this method, I go and remove duplicates. When I'm doing the same thing, I press OK. You can see the alpha still remains. That means even though with 1 tiny space towards the back, Excel will treat them as a totally different data. So this is the way you want to be cautious. Later, we will cover one topic, how we are able to remove the extra spaces at the back, like here. Sometimes visually, we are unable to confirm whether it has extra spaces or no extra spaces. We are totally no idea. So then subsequent one of the topics, I'll be covering that as well. So this is also a very popular way how we are able to do some data cleansing. Okay, so this is the way I see cannot view as view access. Yep, you do not double click on your browser, download, save a copy to your computer. Not double click on the link after you open it. Not double click. When you double click, it's only view only. You are not able to do anything because that is on the Google Drive. Okay, so now let's continue. I go to the next one. It says text to column. Text to column. What is the data you are looking at this present moment? They are separated by a special character. They call it delimiter. Delimiter. Okay. So that means sometimes it could be comma, sometimes it could be semicolon, sometimes it could be a dash, and sometimes it could be a different alphabet, and sometimes it could be a tab key as well. So these are called delimiters. So what does that mean? If I want to check on the first column data, everything is just before the first comma. This is the first column data. So the second column is right after the first column. So that will be the second column of data and so on. So I want to have this kind of long string data. I want to split them into individual columns so that it's easier for us to do analysis. So one of the popular methods to split the one long string or alphabet of the data into multiple columns is called text to columns. Text to columns. Now I just want to go to A5. I go to A5. I want to select towards the end. The keyboard shortcut is Control Shift down arrow key. This one we covered yesterday. Control Shift down arrow key. And then you go to data. You go to data. Inside data and going towards right side, you will see there's an option says text to columns. So this is rather big one. So that means it's very popular. Those popular functions, the button usually is bigger. So it says text to columns. Remember, you need to select data before you go here. Text to columns. Let's go to text to columns. And inside here, it has two options for you to split the data, either using delimited. Yeah, the icons is different, slightly different version will have a different design. It's very common. Then there's another one is called fixed width. Later we will learn about fixed width. Now we go for delimited. We go for delimited. and go next. And you will ask us, hey, what is the denominator for this data? So you can see all of them, they are separated by, yes, they are separated by comma. They are separated by comma. Just to tick on the comma, at the bottom, the data preview, you can see they are broken down into individual columns like this. So that means this is the result we are going to get towards the end. And once you confirm with the data preview, click on the next to move on to the next step. Just click on the next to move on towards the next step. And before we press finish, just to make sure the destination, just to make sure that the destination is on the B5. By default, it will go towards the same destination and overwrite the original data. So this is the thing we want to avoid. Whenever we do some so-called data cleansing or data processing, we want to keep the origin data just in case in the future we want to do some cross-checking or double check. So in this context, I want to keep the data on the same place. The output, I will just go to B5. I just go to B5. How I go here? You see there's a small button. It looks like a browsing with the up arrow key. Click on this and you are able to ask you where is your location. And just be careful to observe. Sometimes it will turn into this method. If this is the one it has happened, you just need to select the whole thing and just select the whole thing. Just select the whole thing and click on B5 again. Just select the whole thing and click on the B5 again. And you will see something like this appears on the screen before you click on the finish. Destination is B5. The rest, there are no changes. And you click finish. And this column, the one highlighted in black, I'm highlighted here, it will go to column B5. And the next one, it will just go the next column and so on and go next. So you just go one after another towards right side. So now I'm going to press finish. And because previously I have some formatting here, it is guessing, hey, it might have some data. So I will get this warning. There already data here. Do you want to replace it? So this is a false alarm. I will just say, okay. I will just press okay. Yeah, you can see this is how it could be split into multiple columns in this way. Got it? Yes, got it, got it. Okay, to answer the question, you are able to select all of them at once and you can just do it at once. If you select one by one, that means you are going to do it one by one. You can select multiple and you will just do the same thing, text to columns into multiple columns at once. Mine skip the Johor column. Depending on how you select. Yep. So basically it's the very common mistake people do. The very common mistake people do is they go to text to column, go next. The delimiter is correct, go next, and they just click finish. If I just finish, you will see something like this. You can see somehow there's one column missing. That's because they overwrite the data. They overwrite the original data. So this is a very common mistake people do. When there's empty, you want to put NA. Okay, where am I? Okay, when there's empty, you want to put NA. So that's a different thing. I like the question. You write it down. I want to address towards the end. I will address towards the end. Text to column, denominator, separated by comma, go next. I want to change the destination to B5. If let's say I select somewhere else, a wrong location, I just press finish and everything will be out proportionally because of the destination we have chosen. So just be careful on the destination where you have chosen. So now if this is done, now we are going to move forward to the next one, going towards the next one. Is a text to column 2, text to column 2. Previously, what we have done is based on the delimiter, either comma, question mark, and so on. So now we want to use something called fixed width. Fixed width, it means a certain alphabet in the front, maybe the 2 alphabet in the front, and maybe how many alphabet towards that. I want to track, or I want to extract the data based on the location of the alphabet. So this is called fixed width. Same thing, I go to A3. I go to A3, Control, Shift, down arrow key, Control, Shift, down arrow key. Then I can go to text to columns, text to columns. Instead of using delimiter, I want to use fixed width. I will use fixed width now. Using fixed width. And go next. And now you want to observe how I control, and later you will do it on your own. Here, we can decide where we want to split the data. Either we want to go for a specific location, we just click on that. Let me show you. I just click and it will show the line. It means it will split these 2 alphabets as one of the columns. And if I want to further split, I can just continue to click on that different location. Maybe I want to click somewhere here. Then I realize I clicked wrongly. I want to move this towards left side. I could just drag the particular line, just drag and move it towards left or right. I can drag it towards the left side and it will look something like this. So I want to have the first 2 alphabets and the last 5 alphabets. Whatever in between, later we can discard it, or we want to ignore or skip that one in between. If I click some other places by mistakes, it will look something like this. To remove the split, we will just double click on the line and the line will disappear. So let me double click, and double click. So just to confirm, you have something like this. First 2 alphabets, and there's middle 1 alphabet, and subsequently followed by 5 alphabets. You will see 2 lines in between them. So this is the method you want to do. Thank you. And now just go next. Before we confirm by pressing finish, before that, change the destination. Change the destination from A3 to B3. Change the destination to A3 to B3. And because the middle column, the one in the middle, there's the alphabet, I do not need it. I want to find a way to skip it. So to do so is to click on the middle column here and then followed by do not import. Just click on this. First, you do the step, select, and then only you choose do not import. So let me show you. I click. You will see the black color is selecting the one in the middle, and then you only choose do not import. After that, you only click on finish. Just to double confirm that destination is correct at the B3. So let me change it, do not import, and it's the B3, and I click finish. I may get a false warning here because of the color formatting here. And I press OK, and ta-da, so it's done. Ken, for the second one. Okay, let me repeat one more round for how to do this. At the same time, I can explain there are certain things you could do differently. First, I select the data here. I select the data here. Control Shift down arrow key to select until the end. Then I straight away go to data, text to columns. The data is on the top section here, data. Text to columns, you just select in this method. Yep. Data, text to columns. After you select the data, the one you want to split into multiple columns, then you want to use fixed width. Delimiter we have covered, and we are using fixed width. Fixed width, and go next. This is the place where we want to have the line to indicate maybe the first alphabet, second alphabet, and third alphabet. You can have the luxury to decide. Everything goes by the fixed width. Because I do not need the middle two, the third alphabet, so I can have a line in between here. By clicking them once, allows you to choose when you want to split. If you make a mistake, you want to move them around, you can just drag. Or if let's say I decided this is a totally mistake, I want to remove it, you could do so by double click on the line. Just by double click on the line and it will disappear. Let's go back here. I just want to have these two lines. So this is the thing I want to have. You can see I have a line here and here. Because I want to split into 3 columns and I remove the second column because that's the data, we do not need it. After that, just go next. After I'm going next, the very first thing you want to do is to change the destination. This is a very common mistake people do. They just forget about destination. So I will encourage you to change the destination. How you do so? Just go to small button here, click. Small button here, click. And change it to B3. Change it to B3 and press enter. And because the middle button, we do not need them. We do not need the second button, second column. Just click on the second column. Make sure it's highlighted in the black color. So this is to select this one first. And then you only select do not import. So this is the second step. Then after that, you can click on finish. So that will be the third step. So this is how you are able to split based on fixed width. So let me do this. Do not import and finish. Press OK. Yep. Yeah. So happy. So nice, so nice. Okay. So this has been split into multiple columns and it works just like that. Yes. Okay. Now we have this thing ready. And just now we touched on a little bit about the data. It might have blank spaces. So this is the time I want to introduce you. There's 2 very beautiful functions. It says trim and clean. Trim and clean. Let's go to the 4th worksheet. It says trim clean. And on the data here, you can see it has some extra spaces in the front. Some of them has extra spaces at the back. Some of them have extra spaces. I'm using the blue boxes to indicate they are the blank space. And in between, because everything is inside the cell and inside a single cell, it has enter key as well, which is I'm highlighted in the red color. To get this so-called the enter or multiple lines, the keyboard shortcut to do so is using Alt Enter. Alt Enter is to have multiple lines. So sometimes people they enter data in this manner, they just press Alt Enter multiple times so that it looks a little bit simple for human to read. And because this is for human, Excel were not able to understand they are separated by the Alt Enter. Excel will treat them as a different kind of data. So I want to remove all the extra line and extra spaces, and only keep the space in between the alphabet as one space, so that towards the end, I only see a one complete sentence with the, for this example, be to be or not to be. So I will go here. Let's show you trim equal TRI trim. When you see this is selected, you press tab key. Yes, tab key is very, very useful. Press tab key and choose on the B1. That means I want to remove the extra spaces based on the data from B1. When I press enter, it looks only showing the first TO. It doesn't show anything else. That's because you go to home, it has multiple lines. It doesn't show underneath of the cell. I just need to go to home. Just go to home. There's something called wrap text. Wrap text. Just to click on the wrap text, and it will be showing the lines below. Just click on the wrap text to turn it off, and click on the wrap text again to show the multiple lines. So this is how it works. Yes, some extra lines at the back, extra blank lines. So to remove those, the thing I'm highlighted in the red color, we need to use something called trim. Trim is to take out the extra line, which is normally we use Alt Enter to enter into Excel. So I want to compare two different results from B1 based on trim or clean. So I do equal CL tab. Select B1 and press enter. This one, it doesn't show multiple line, and sadly, it doesn't remove the extra spaces. So I want to have something like this, and I just want to remove the extra spaces in the front, then extra spaces at the back. Whatever spaces in between the alphabet, I just want to keep one space in between them. Whatever in between, I just want to keep one space in between them. So this is the thing I want to use for the trim. Okay, so let me remove this again. Repeat for the trim or clean. Which one? Trim or clean? Or everything? Oh, okay. Let me show you again. First, go towards a B2. Let's go to B2. Go a bit slower. I'm going a bit slower. Equal TRI. When you type halfway, you can see the box, the drop down, it has showing trim is selected. When this is selected, you want to complete it fast and confirm the selection, you could use a tab key. Whenever you use tab key, let me show you. When I press tab key, it will auto complete the whole sentence or whole function name and with the open parentheses. So this is the beauty of using tab key. And that's why I say tab key is our BFF in Excel. A lot of things you can use tab key to control and make the movement much more smoother. Let's continue. After the trim, I go to B1. I go to B1 and just press enter. And you will notice it's only showing the word TO. It doesn't show anything else. Isn't it? So this is the time, because I want to show there are more than one ways. Another way is I want to increase the height by double click. When I double click, I just double click between number 2 and number 3 because it has more data underneath. It has more data underneath here. It's just not shown. Just to go here between number 2 and number 3, you can just double click. It will auto fit the row height. Yeah, lah, like that lah. Okay, double click. You can see it has more things hidden underneath. There's multiple lines here. Okay, got it? Nice for the trim. Nice. Okay, got it. Very good. So we know the functionality of trim is to take out the extra spaces. And now I just want to use the clean to show you the clean on the same result above here. Equal CL and press tab key. And you will ask you where you want to select, and I will select from B1 on the top. Just like B1 on the top. And press enter. And you can see it shows in one continuous line. And sadly, this one, it doesn't remove extra spaces. So it doesn't remove extra spaces. So now we know the difference between trim and clean. Clean is to take out the extra lines, but it doesn't take out the extra spaces. Trim is to take out the extra spaces. Value. Okay, if you get the value, most likely you have selected something else. Okay. Equal CL. If you press enter, you may get, is it name? No, should be. If something wrong, you can just need to redo. The function name is just on the left side. Just type this, the name. Name. If you see the name, because you press enter, you are not using tab key. Pressing enter, it will cause you not complete typing the function name. So therefore, you will get name error. You will get name error. Let me show you. That's a very common mistake people do. Equal CL, and I press enter. I'm so excited, I just press enter. You will get name error. Something like this. Remember, after you type equal CL, use tab key, not using enter key. Enter key is to confirm the formulas typing. It doesn't confirm the selection. Tab key is to confirm a selection in the list you have seen. Now it's clean text, not text. Okay, equal CL tab. Yep, we do not type the word text. We type B1 or select on the top. This is B1. And then close parenthesis. So this is the thing you want to do. I select B1 and I press enter. So let me show you the formula. And this is the formula for clean. This formula for clean. The close parenthesis, it will automatically add if you are just a simple formula. Usually it will automatically add if let's say I just ignore. It's still able to automate. Just observe, I just remove the last close parenthesis. I press enter. It doesn't prompt any error. If I just go back up, check on the formula, it will automatically add the close parenthesis for me. So usually if I say a simple formula, the close parenthesis, it will be automatically corrected, even though we didn't specify anything. Yep, got it. So now we want to continue. We want to remove the extra line to make the whole string into one continuous so that we are able to remove the space as and when they are continuous block, they are not broken down and they are not broken down into multiple lines. So we want to use clean and then trim. So this is called nested function. Just like mathematics, whenever we have the parenthesis, whatever inside the parenthesis, it goes first. So same thing here. If you're not quite sure how to type it, you can do something like this by going equal CL tab key and go to B1 close parenthesis. So this is the thing we want to process first. So this thing we want to process first. After that, I want to continue with the trim. After that, I want to continue with the trim. So I just use my mouse to go towards the beginning. After the equal sign, I will type trim, T-R-I, and press tab key. And going towards the end, close parenthesis. And this is the correct formula. It allows you to remove the extra lines, also the extra spaces. You can see the pattern here. Whenever it's the last one I want to do, we key in first inside the equation. Whenever it's the first one we want to do, we key in last, so that whenever it go process, it will go from inside and go out here. Okay? From inside, it will go out. So this is how the nested function works. It go from inside and then go out. So therefore, it do the clean before it goes to trim. So same what we want to do. And then I can press enter. You can see now it is perfectly displayed in this manner. Just by remember this one, it can handle a lot of so-called the manual entry kind of data by combining them into one continuous string, and you are able to use this one for further analysis. So this is also a very, very common method for data cleansing. So let you experiment for about 30 seconds. Have you seen this phrase before? The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Have you seen this phrase before? Yes or no? Yes, where you seen this? It's quite a weird phrase, but somehow it's quite popular. Where have you seen this phrase before? I'm just unable to recall, but somehow you've seen this before. Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, this phrase is something special. When learn typing, yes, when you learn typing. Exactly, this phrase, it has all 26 alphabet, A to Z. All the alphabet, yes, you're right. Yeah, it's 26. And something not so right about this phrase or this kind of data. Yes, a mixture of uppercase and lowercase, and somehow it makes things not presentable. Those days, I have no idea about where we are able to get this thing done, or so-called the changing the alphabet inside Excel. We are able to use the function like proper, upper, lower, to convert this whole thing into uppercase, lowercase, or the first alphabet of the word to uppercase. So let's see how it works. Proper, let's do this together. Equal PROP and press tab key. Yes, tab key. And go to B1 and press enter. Even though just observe, I did not have close parentheses towards the end. I just press enter. Excel will automatically correct for us by including close parentheses for us. I press enter. You can see that all the first alphabet of each word is uppercase, and meanwhile the rest of the alphabet, they are in lowercase. So these are the things means by proper. Upper is very easy to understand. It converts the whole thing to uppercase. We could do something like this: equal UP and press tab key. I'm going to B1 and press enter. Now it changes the whole sentence to uppercase. Lowercase is on another spectrum. It just changed the whole phrase to lowercase. We were able to get that thing done by equal LOW, lower. When you see the lower is lighter, you press tab key. Very good. And B1 and press enter. So this is how you are able to get it done a bit faster and easier. And in terms of data processing or data cleansing, one of the common things you may want to aware is we are able to take out part of the alphabet, counting from the left or counting from the right, or somewhere in between. So these are the three functions we are going to work on, which means they are the left function and something in the middle, we call it mid. And there's one more function is called right. So this is the left, right, mid. It is able to extract part of the alphabet from the sentence. So let's see. Now I want to extract part of the data for the quick brown. So I'll be using left function. Let's see how we're able to get it work easily. Just go here, equal LE. When this is the left is selected, we press tab key. Yes. Then I just select one cell above, so this as our sample. Then while you are inside here, you can see it has a bracket num char. Bracket num underscore chars. I just type on in uppercase. When you see this symbol, it means this is optional. This is optional. So that means we could include the number of characters we want to extract from the left, or we just ignore it. If we ignore it, it will just return one alphabet from the left. Another easy method for us to guess the number of alphabet, we could use this method. And this method, I will encourage you, I will advise you to pay close attention. Because with this method alone, you are able to test it out with a lot of functions where you are able to use it to help in your work. Sometimes we are stuck because we are not quite sure what to do with the particular function. And sometimes we just change on the formula. And sometimes we are just lucky. Sometimes we are not lucky. So it's not consistent. This method allows you to understand the function much more easier, and it allows you to do testing much more systematically. So now when I'm here typing the formula halfway, the key I want to use will be Shift F3. Shift F3, it means the function arguments, it brings us to a different place. If let's say you do not want to use Shift F3, another button you could press is go to the formula bar. You will see there's a looks like FX. So this also function arguments. So let me type it on the screen. It's called function arguments. Or the keyboard shortcut will be Shift F3. Personally, I like to use keyboard shortcut Shift F3 over the button here. Because the button is very small, sometimes I click something else. So it's quite annoying. So I just use Shift F3 without worrying which button I'm clicking. So let me use Shift F3. I will be inside here. So let's have a quick glance. What are the things we have? Left is the function name. Left is exactly the same. And you will say, what does that mean for the left? So it says this is about return a specific character from the starting of the text string, which is coming from the left. So this is what we're able to know. And there are a few more things we could learn about these function arguments. Firstly, you can see whenever text is in bold, it means this is compulsory. Compulsory. We must specify something before we are able to get any result. Whenever it's not in bold, it means this is optional. If your one is a bit different, Mac will not have the bold and not bold Mac version. It will just have everything just plain. Only the Windows Excel will have this bold and not bold. Hopefully I address your question. And since this is optional, that means it will show the final result here or at the bottom. So that also means we are able to tell, hey, this is the result we want or otherwise. So it looks like the alphabet T is not what we want. I want to get the word the quick brown. So I start guessing the number of alphabet rather than counting alphabet one by one. Maybe I start the guess with number 10. I just key in 10. You can see the result, it changes to the quick. Looks like I need to have more than 10 alphabet from the left. Maybe I'll make it as 20 alphabet from the left. So it has more. And I just need the quick brown, so I need to have a bit more. So I want to reduce a little bit. I want to reduce the number rather than 20. I want to reduce it. And now I'm going to share with you. I just do the reduction alphabet by alphabet. Even though I know the result, I want to reduce by how many alphabet. I just want to do the reduction of the numbers here, the number character, one by one. So they are able to see the result. It changes as well as and when we change on the number character. So instead of 20, I make it as maybe 19. Check on the result. The quick brown fox, okay, maybe I'll make it as 18. Nope, not really. I want the word the quick brown. How about 17? Not really. Okay, how about 16? Can you accept this as a final result? Yes or no? No right, no wrong. Later I will explain why. Yes or no? Will you accept this result? Will you accept this result? I want to get the word the quick brown. Hello, come on. Why no? I see so many no's. Come on, I get the word the quick brown. Yes, someone supported me. Why yes? Why no? Okay, extra spaces. Yes, you got it right. Extra spaces, it means totally different meaning. Even though for human, they are the same. But for computer, extra spaces means totally different data. So that is the reason why we learn about trim and clean before we come here. So the extra spaces means something different. You can observe as extra spaces before it close double quote. So that we are able to see, hey, there's something extra spaces. That means I do not want to use 16. I want to use 15. So that will be the result I'm looking for. So I just change it to 15 and just double check on the final result, and it shows a double quote. So perfectly, this is the result I want. I can press enter. Yay! So I got it. Yes. So this is the first round. We are able to use the function arguments to do something different. How many of you use the function argument just now, the Shift F3 for the very first time in your life? This is the very first time you see these function arguments. Wow. Okay, welcome to the world of function arguments. Okay, it has a lot of things you can experiment, a lot of things for you to test it out. And the best of all, by using function arguments, it could reduce your frustration level, especially using Excel function. Use it, you will love it. You will love it. Let's go one more round for the function arguments here. And I want to use the word, I want to extract the word lazy dog. Even though I'm able to count using my fingers, how many alphabet from the right. And because now I want to get used to the function argument. So I want to use the function right and press Shift F3 equal right, RI. When I see the word right is selected, I press tab key. Yes, you're right, tab. And go to this function, then you can see whenever it's numchild with the bracket like this one, this is optional. It means if let's say without specify any alphabet, it will just return the rightmost alphabet. Before we continue, I want to go to function arguments by pressing Shift F3. So this is the thing. So I want to go to function arguments by pressing Shift F3 and number character. Now I want to just key in the numbers and observe the result here. Just change the number. Whenever it's too much, you just need to reduce the number. Whenever it's not enough, you just need to increase the number inside numchild, number of characters. Let's start with number 10. Okay, very close. Okay, maybe how about 20? 20 is just too much. I just want to get the word lazy dog. So I want to reduce the number here one by one and see the result. Maybe it is 19, no, 18, no, 17, no, 16, 15, 13. Okay, is this acceptable for number 13? Check on the result, yes or no. Why no? You keep on rejecting me. I feel bad though. Hiyo. Okay, because extra space. Remember, extra space, it means something else. Unless this is the result you want, otherwise you do not want to have extra spaces. Extra spaces, sometimes it could bring some analysis trouble in the subsequent step. It is so difficult. So I want to make it as 12. So just confirm the result. Once this okay, you just need to press OK to confirm the result, and you will bring the result back to Excel here and press enter. Ta-da! Done. That's right. Just focus on the learning, and I will encourage you to focus on the learning, not so much on the attendance. The attendance will be shared towards the end of the session, because the learning is much more important than attendance. Really. Okay, like, so we have got something like this, and I will skip the rest for this topic because we want to move on to something called VLOOKUP. Is very powerful. And before I continue, let me share a bit story with you. And I just want to know how many of you, how soon you will be graduating? How soon? How many months to go for you to graduate? Can you type in the chat? How many months to go? Is it 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? How many months to go for you to graduate? Six months, 2 years, 3 years, more, long way to go. A year left, 4 months, 6 months. Very good. Okay, just a side story. Last time I involved in a few projects that is called Graduate Employability Enhancement Program. So that means never graduated. Oh, okay, never mind. It's okay. For those who are about to graduate, this is a true story. It's a true story. There's a group of graduates. They got a very good academic result, and when they go for the job, the market, they are applying a lot of jobs. They are just unable to get any of the jobs. Really. And because when they study and they were engineers, a lot of them, they are engineers, either most of them, they are engineers. So after they study that, they want to go for engineering field or oil and gas company, those related companies. They want to acquire more knowledge. At the same time, you want to earn something. So after a few months, they are unable to get the job. 3 months pass, 6 months, they're still unable to get it. And they apply to be part of the Graduate Employability Enhancement Program. So one of the topics they are learning is about Excel. And just about Excel. So looks very common. And they are very fortunate. I'm also very happy as well. I'm able to ask them to do the assignment until midnight. Yes, until midnight. From morning, I just brief them a little bit. I throw them into C, no tutorial. They just go online, search the result. I just want the result. Yes, I'm so nasty. Now you can see the evil side of me. Scary? Ha 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 ha. Okay. Then after a while, I will show them the answer. Let them see what is, I want to let them to go through the struggle. So after the session, I just share this phrase with them. So one of the students, she remembered this phrase. And she go back and she, after the program, the learning program, they will just go for internship. The internship, after the end of the internship, they will go to be jobless as well, because only 10% of the people will be offered as a permanent job. Only 10% is very competitive. So this lady, she be offered as a permanent just because of this phrase she kept in her mind. That during her work on the first role as permanent staff, and within a year, she got promoted. I'm so shocked. I'm so happy with her achievement as well, and asked, what is the secret? Then she shared with me, hey, Tai, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just because of that phrase, it helps me to do things differently. And also the skill she learned from the Excel lesson. I said, what's that phrase? So secret. She shared with me, hey, you told me what ma, you forgotten. I say a lot of things I have forgotten. I'm not sure which one is a golden word. So I want to share this phrase to all of you as well. This phrase is able to help you to do a little bit differently compared to your peers. You have the choice to choose to believe, and you also have the choice to choose to ignore. Totally entirely up to you. And this is a story I want to share, and I want to inspire you so that you are able to make the better decision. So the phrase is, think like a boss. It looks very, very common. When this lady, she go for internship, she always think, how can I help my boss? How can I ease out my boss work? Think like a boss. Then after a while, then she got absorbed as permanent role. Then she will always ask, how can I help my boss again? Then she always think like a boss. Then the boss also recommended her to go for another department. Imagine the boss recommended her to another department just because of her performance. So now she is doing very, very well with one of the largest oil and gas company, really. And I'm so happy with her achievement. I also wish you all can learn something. Excel at the same time is able to help you to get a better job as and when you graduated. So this is my only hope. Okay, Ken. A bit grammar story lah. Okay, think like a boss. So simple, and you have the option to believe or choose not to believe. It's perfectly okay. Okay, now we want to go back. Enough of grammar story. Ooh, okay. So this me. So now we want to go to the next topic. Is about lookup function. Lookup function. Keep yourself hydrated, and this is very, very powerful. Some of the interview questions they will ask about lookup function. Some of the things really is a case study, it's a real case. So lookup function will help you a lot more. So now we want to introduce you to what does it mean by VLOOKUP. How many of you has heard of this phrase VLOOKUP before? Yes or no? Have you heard or see this phrase before? Yes or no? Yes, no, yes. How many of you know how to use VLOOKUP? You can type 1. If you do not know how to use VLOOKUP, you type 0. And sometimes you are lucky, you are not lucky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You can type the decimal number between 1 and 0. Forget. Yes, yesterday. Okay. Wow, okay. Forgot. Okay, very good. Now let me go through a little bit slower. Let you see the perspective. I will just use this worksheet. Okay. Point 5. Now the intention is I want to base a unique ID here, S105, to search inside here, S105. I want to retrieve the data towards the right side. So that is the purpose of VLOOKUP. V means vertical. What does that mean? You can see all the data, it is displayed vertically. It displays vertically. Everything goes vertically from top to bottom. How we search the data also vertically. So this is called vertical lookup, also called VLOOKUP. So now let's see how it's able to work. I will go through a few steps. I want to get you all used to this, and I will invite you all to do some of the exercises. Let's do this in a slow motion. Let's go to full name. Just go to full name equal VL and press tab key. And you can see there are certain things appears at the bottom. It says lookup value. Lookup value is the things you want to search for. I want to search for S105. I want to know what are the additional details for S105. So lookup value is S105. I just click on the cell, comma, and then it will ask for table array. Table array, it means where can I find the data from? I could find the data from this worksheet, this particular place. I will select by entire column. Remember, it must from the ID going towards right side. From the ID going towards right side. This is the condition to use VLOOKUP. If the data on the other side, we were not able to use VLOOKUP. So I will select E up to I. I just select E up to I, comma, and then you will ask for column index number. Okay, let me remove this. Now the data, how the VLOOKUP works, it will based on the ID. You can see the ID is S105. The lookup, the table array here is referring based on the ID going towards right side. Must go towards right side to retrieve the data we want. If the data we want is appear also on the left side, VLOOKUP will not able to work. So the table array is selecting from E and all the way until I. This is for table array. The term is not for human because a bit technical. Array is a bit technical word. You just understand the concept. So E up to I, comma, now it's asking for column index number. Column index number is based on the data we have selected here. Which column has data we want it back. You can see as a number here. This one is to ease your learning. This is number 1, and this is number 2 for the full name. Number 3 is the department. So for the full name, this is number 2. So therefore, I will key number 2 here. I just key number 2. Let me key number 2. And comma, you will ask for either we want exact match or approximate match. 99.9%, I'm confidently saying 99.9% people use exact match. Yes, if you go to your workplace or you go one Friday, you go for your internship, you are using Excel, you're helping your seniors to do some work. Most likely, whenever they use VLOOKUP, they use exact match, 99.9%. Only 0.1% people will use something else. And instead of using false, we can use the number 0. 0 is equivalent to false. So why I want to say 0? Here you can see it's false. In your work, if I say in your future work, sometimes people will use 0 because 0 is much more easier to type compared to false. Just count the number of alphabet requires. False will be FALSE, 5 alphabets. Meanwhile, 0 is only 1 alphabet. Just compare the number of saving of the alphabet. It's 80% of the saving. Even though it's a bit exaggerated, but this is how people use. A lot of time people will type 0 and just move forward. They will not type false the full spelling. So I just type 0 here and press enter. Whenever it's S105, you'll be Baker Amy. So it's correct. If I change the ID to S103, it will change to Yes, this is the person name. Not sure how to pronounce the name. Okay. So let me change it to S105. Will be easier to pronounce. So this first thing done. So far okay? So far okay? I want to make sure you grab the concept, and later you can practice a little bit more. Can? Good. Cool. Okay, right. Let's continue with the next one. For those unable to grab it, it's perfectly okay. I will continue for the department, IC, and mobile. It is the same step. I will repeat few rounds. You will slowly to see the pattern is keep on repeating by itself. It's the same thing. Okay, let me do this. Equal VL. Now I'm going towards department. I want to base on the ID S105. I want to retrieve the department name and press tab. And it's asking for lookup value. Lookup value is referring to S105. So I'll refer to S105. And comma, table array. Table array is referring to where is the data source. Is from E up to I. It is always from the ID going towards right side. Always from the ID or the so-called matching criteria going towards right side. So I will select E up to I. And comma, based on the selected range, which one is the department? Number 1 is the ID. Number 2 is the full name. So it's number 3. Number 3 is the department. So therefore, I will key number 3 as a column index number. And comma, it will ask for true or false. Remember, 99.9% people use 0 or people use false for the VLOOKUP. False or 0 will means exact match. Key 0 and enter. So I'm going to repeat the similar step for the IC number. Equal VL tab. And you ask for lookup value. Lookup value is from here, S105. So I refer to S105, comma, it is asking for table array. It's asking for table array. It's from E up to I. So this is, we are referring E up to I. E up to I. Then comma is asking which one has the IC number for the column index number. Number 1, number 2, number 3 is number 4. Yes, thank you. Number 4. So I will key number 4 inside column index number. Now, comma, you will ask for what's the match type, the range lookup. 99.9% people will use exact match. The easy way to key will be, we will key 0. 0 will be equivalent to exact match. So I will key 0 towards the end and press enter. So let's repeat final round for the mobile number. Equal VL tab. Let me zoom in. So it's looking for the value S105. S105, comma, table array. I'm selecting from E up to I. E up to I. Just select. And comma is asking for column index number. So you can see a number. ID is number 1. Full name number 2, department number 3, IC is number 4, and the mobile is number 5. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. Number 5. Key number 5. And comma, it is asking for Either it's an approximate match or exact match. 99.9% people will use exact match. The easy way to key in exact match is 0. Yes, you're right. It's 0. You just key in 0 towards the end. 0, close parenthesis, and press enter. And now we're going to do a simple test. If I change the ID from S105 to S109, the whole thing changes. And let's compare. S109 is Carpenter, John, Sales Department, and yep, and the mobile number is 015. Yes, that is correct. That's perfect. If I change it to S110, yes, David's Henry production is perfectly matches. So this is how we're able to bring additional data from different places just by having their unique reference. In this context will be the ID. Case handle instead. Okay, VLOOKUP E, which one you are referring? E2 is number 2. E2I. Number 2 will be the full name. Yep. Or you're using E4. Do not select E4 here. We do not select here. Not selecting here. Why? Because selecting is a reference of the data, so there's no way for you to change. If one fine day someone copy and paste for the reference data here, my report will be easily gone. I do not set it here. I set it somewhere outside. You can see it be C5. I'm referring somewhere outside, not inside the reference table, not inside. How to set the ID drop-down value? Yes, very good. Ask towards the end. Ask towards the end. Okay. So now I want to let you all to experiment. Let you practice for what? For product 1. It's very, very simple. The only thing is the orientation. Here it was vertical. Everything goes vertical. And meanwhile, for the product 1, it just go everything horizontal. And the reference table also the same thing. And you can see a number 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for you to experiment, if you have some question asked towards the end. C5 is the formula. What do you mean by C5 is the formula? Which one? Or C5, if this 5 is a formula, it's also possible. It's still okay. If let's say I do something else, S110, still possible. SS109, also possible. Can. It doesn't matter, not necessarily must be selected. We can use a formula, and the result of the formula, we use that value for lookup. Also perfect. Limit number of rows. The rows is just can go until the end. The columns, I think, is go up to 30 plus or 60. This is quite a limit. Last time I encountered the limit. It's very messy. Yes. Now, I think you all let you all to experiment for about 1-2 minutes for product 1. Just for your experiment before we move on to, let's see, for index match. Okay, when will we use approximate match? Okay, because I just realized the time. No time for you to exercise, no time for you to practice. Let's jump a little bit. I think I need to cover this. Looks like I do not have the time for pivot table. Let's cover this one. This one is very, very important. Most of the time, your first job, most of the time, or the first task or first few tasks will be something to do with this. If you are fortunate enough. Okay, let's go back to here. This one is perfectly okay. Now we jump a little bit. We go to staff list number 2. Staff list number 2. The data is a bit unique. The IC number is in the middle here. I want to get the data. If I want to get the mobile number, I'm able to use VLOOKUP. It's perfectly okay. Going towards the right side from a reference is perfect. If let's say I want to use this one, going towards the left from a reference, VLOOKUP were not able to work. No way to work. No way. A big no-no. And for your information, when you go and join the workforce, and sometimes your senior, they are not aware how to work around using VLOOKUP when this situation, so they have no idea. So I'm going to introduce you index match. After that, I will introduce you XLOOKUP. I just introduced two, and later you can experiment, you can rewatch the video. And I will show you when we are going to use approximate match. Okay, let's go here. And I'm going to use index match. I do not want to confuse you. We just jump into the formula. After a while, you can see the pattern repeating. So this is why I want to jump into the formula to let you see the pattern. So first, I will just equal index. I just type IN tag. Inside index, it will ask for array or reference, which means where is the data I want. In this context, where is the data? Will be column H for the ID. Or just column E, sorry, column E for the ID. So this is the ID we want. So you refer here because I'm looking for ID. And then comma match MA tag. You will see it's lookup for this IC number. Lookup for this IC number. Comma lookup array. Which column has the IC number? Column H. So the lookup array will be column H. Lookup array will be column H. Comma, it will ask you whether it's less than, greater than, or exact match. 99.9% we will use exact match. So there'll be 0 and close parentheses twice and press enter. So this is the first one. Let's repeat the second round. If you miss the first one, it's okay. Just follow the second round, then third and fourth, then you can see the pattern. Equal index tab and ask for array. Array means where is the data for the full name. It's from column F. Column F. And comma match tag. The match, it says for lookup values, I will refer to the IC number above. Comma lookup array. Lookup array means where is the column for the IC. This is in the column H. So I just refer to column H. Okay, this column H. And comma, you will ask for what is the match type. We will use exact match. So I will type 0. Type 0. And close parentheses twice and press enter. Let's repeat for the third round. Equal index IN tag. After index, it's asking for array. It means where is the data for department. So it's G. I just go to G. Let's select on the column G. Comma. And I will type match. I type match. Match is a lookup value. Lookup value is here. Lookup value. Comma, you ask for lookup array. Means where is the data or the column for the IC number? It means column H. Column H. I just select H. Comma, 0 and close two parentheses and enter. So let's go for one more round. Equal index tag. Now it's asking for mobile number. Why is the data for mobile number? It's inside I, comma, match, and press tab key. Lookup value. Lookup value is over here. And comma is asking for the lookup array. Where is the column has the IC number? It's inside the H, column H. And comma, you ask for what is the match type. We are going to use exact match. 0 is what we want to type. And close parentheses twice. 1, 2, and press enter. You got it. So now let me show you the formula and explain the pattern we have gone through. You can see the similarity. They have index. There has a comma, that's a match. They are exactly the same. They are exactly the same. The only difference is where is the data we are looking for. They are exactly the same. So by going through all these things, you are able to know which column or the pattern, how the things work. Yes, you're right. The benefits of using index match is it can go to left and right, both direction, and the best of all, it can go up and down. VLOOKUP is only able to get left, going towards right side. If let's say the data is on the horizontal, and that means we want to use HLOOKUP. Index match allows us to use both direction, left, right, up, down. Very, very easy. So this is about the index match. So far, okay? Can follow? So far, okay? Before I show you the XLOOKUP. Yeah, yes, okay. Okay, good. Like let's continue with the how we are able to do something similar using XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is very useful, especially you are using Excel or Microsoft 365. This is only available there. If you're using Google Sheet, it's also available inside the Google Sheet or the online Excel. XLOOKUP is something simpler. So let me show you. Equal XL, you'll be seeing XLOOKUP and press tab. And the lookup value is referring to the IC number above here. Lookup value is the IC. And comma, you ask for lookup array. It means the IC which column it matches the particular IC number. So it's on the column H. And comma is asked for return array. Means which column has the data we need. So this is about ID. So therefore, I will select column E. Select column E. And it just after that, I will just comma. It will show you when the data does not find anything what you want to show. Now I'll just ignore this one. I will just continue by pressing comma. You will ask for what is the match type. We want to match using exact match. So therefore, you will be 0, 0, 0, and press enter, and you got the result. XLOOKUP, it makes the whole thing a little bit streamlined rather than using index match. Yes, make the thing much more simpler to use. So let me go redo again. Equal XL tag. Then you will see there's a lookup value. Lookup value. just refer to here. And comma is asking for lookup array. Lookup array is the column of the IC number, just like on the other side. And comma, it asks for return array, means where is the data or which column I want to have the data back. Full name is on the column F, so I will refer to column F. Let's refer to column F and comma. If not found, I just want to ignore for the time being. And comma, I want to use exact match. I want to use exact match, so that will be 0. And close parenthesis and enter. Yep, got it. So let's go one more round for department. Equal XL tag. The lookup value is referring to here. And comma, lookup array, where is the data for the IC? Lookup array is on the H. It's on the H. Comma is asked for return array. Return array means where is the data I want to get it from for the department. So which means it's column G, means column G. And comma, I just ignore, do not want to show anything, and just comma, I want to use exact match. And close parenthesis and press enter. Going the same thing for final round. Later you can see I will show you all the formulas. Equal XL hat. Lookup value. Lookup values is referring to the IC number. Comma, lookup array. Lookup array means where is the column for the IC number, which means inside H. If your Excel does not have the XLOOKUP, most likely you are using different version of Excel. It could be most likely it's not 365. Then return array. Return array is where the data for mobile is inside column I, comma. I do not want to show anything, just comma and 0 and close parenthesis and press enter. Let me show all the formulas. You can see all of them, they are the same. The only difference is this part I have underlined. This part is where we change to retrieve the data we want from different columns. Meanwhile, all the remainings, they are exactly the same. Yep, if let's say when you press equal XL, it doesn't show the list. Most likely your Excel doesn't support that. Okay, XLOOKUP is a flexibility of using index match. Index match, it goes left, right, up, down. XLOOKUP has something similar as well. So this is how and why people use XLOOKUP. And if your computer does not have XLOOKUP, the only option for you is using index match, which is a little bit longer to type. And the end result is the same. The end result is the same. Yep, Sophia, I get your answer. If you type equal, let me zoom in a little bit. If I just type equal XL, you do not see the selection appears there. So that means your Excel version doesn't support that. Okay. Yes, this is the final one. Okay. Like your experiment, let me show you the formulas. That's your experiment for about, good, cool, about 30 seconds. Yeah, VLOOKUP is only going towards right side. Whenever the data is going towards the left side, VLOOKUP will not able to work. So that's the reason we want to use the XLOOKUP or index match to have greater flexibility. Cool. Okay. So how many of, because just now we mentioned about VLOOKUP, a lot of time or using lookup or index match, 99.9% people use it for exact match. And in what situation, the 0.1% where you want to use the non-exact match, So let me show you how you are able to get that thing done easily. Let's go to your file. Let me zoom in. Yes, go towards okay, let's go to last one. It's something easy to use, So this will be something like a score. Each of them, maybe different subject will have a different score or different rating. Based on the score, you want to give the rating or ranking in this context. That will be, you need to come out this table. Whenever it's 0 and above, but lesser than 40, I want to show the rank as failed. 40, but it's greater or equal to 40, but lesser than 70, I want to show the ranking as passed. And if let's say it's 70 and above, but lesser than 90, I want to show credit, and the list goes on in this way. So now I want to use VLOOKUP equal VL tab and select you will ask for lookup value. The lookup value, all this while we are selecting either the staff ID or the IC number. Here we will select the score. Which is the numeric or number. Comma, table array, also something similar, table array. The scoring range is from F. So I want to select from F going towards right side. So I will select F and G. And comma, you will ask for column index number. Same thing like just now. Score range is number 1 and the ranking is number 2. So I will use number 2 for the column index number. Number 2, and the last one you could just ignore. Whenever you ignore, it becomes approximate match. It means everything goes by the numerical number range. Let me press enter. I can copy the formula downward by double click on the field handle. Double click. So this is how you are able to get the result done easily by having the number range comparison. So this is the 0.1% people use VLOOKUP for, which is not exact match. So let me show the formulas on the screen. Okay, thank you for your question. How to copy the formula down is basically we go to the small dot here. This is called field handle. Normally we drag manually to go down. In order to copy the formula down fast, you just double click here, and it will copy down. You look up in the range of, yes, you can use a VLOOKUP to refer to another worksheet or another file. Perfectly okay. The usage is also exactly the same. The only difference is whenever you select, you just need to click on the different worksheet or different file. That's it. The rest, they are the same. Okay, I think I want to leave some time for Q&A. And Because of the timing, we do not have enough time to cover about the pivot table and the chart. I believe that with the knowledge of VLOOKUP, it will help you greatly in your work, and even though in your assignment or in your studies. Okay, who want to learn how to do the drop down just now? I just want to see how many of you I need, because in the room we have 108 people. I need to have at least 40% of you say yes, you want to learn this. Okay, more. Okay. Yes. Pivot table may not have enough time unless you want to stretch the timing. Okay, right. Let me share with you how you're able to do a drop down. Let's go to the file just now. We go to the stuff. Okay, let's go to stuff. Okay, yes, many methods. One of the easy method is this. So I want to do a drop down, for example, the ID. I want to do a drop down for the ID here. I want to show the drop down. First, okay, I am in the staff list one. I go to C2 and go to data. Inside data, going towards right side, you will see there's option with the tick and cross. This is called data validation. We are going to use this data validation to control the values we allows the user to enter, or we can let the user to choose from the list. So these are things we want to do with the data validation. Then click on the data validation. Inside here, you will say allow. Currently, it allows any value. It has no specific control. We want to select here. Select and choose. We want to allow only list. We want to allow list. And you ask you, where is the source? So this is the time you can select the cell where you want to have the drop down to refer to. So I want to click on the source, and now I will just select the staff ID. Let me go down a little bit. Yes, up to here. I just select. Is from E5 up to E14. E5 to E14. Then after that, you just press OK, and let me go down, go up, and you can see a drop down appears here. Simple. If let's say I want to change, I do not want to have something else, you can change it. Go back to data validation. This is the place you can change. Maybe I do not want to use by the ID. Maybe I want to go by the full name. You could do so as well. And press OK. And you can see a drop down. Now it becomes full name. Hope this helps. And this is just the beginning of using data validation. There are more things you could do, and there are more consideration when you are using data validation. Hope this helps. Yeah, it's a good question. The duplicate data will not be removed from here. It will not be removed. You may want to come out the list and only the unique record or drop down, put it somewhere else. For example, if let's say I want to select the drop down based on the department, definitely there are duplication of administration here. So this is the thing you may want to use, copy somewhere else, remove duplicates, then only use the data validation to refer to that particular source. Yes. Okay, do that again. Let me do this again. A little bit slower. I go here. Okay, let me do this. First, I select the place where I want to have the drop down. I go to data. And going towards the right side, you will see there's a button. This is called data validation. data validation, just click on that button. And inside allow, choose you want to allow only list. And while we are here, you are able to restrict the entry of the particular cell either by the whole number, that means number without decimal, or those with decimal, the date, time, the certain number of the alphabet, or you are able to use your own formula to control. So there are a lot more things you could do inside data validation. So now just focusing on the list. So I just select from the list. After I select from the list, and I can choose where is the source. The source, it means where I want to refer the particular cell from. So if let's say I want to have a greater flexibility in the future, okay, this is not a so effective way. I could select by the entire column like this. That means whatever blanks above, it will show blank. Maybe it has number 2, it will be shown, full name will be shown. So this is not so effective. But one of the methods is to select by the entire column so that next time you have more data added at the bottom, the drop-down list will be able to pick that up as well. So now let me press OK. I can click on the drop-down. You can see the blank space above. That's number 2, full name, everything is here. Next time I have more data at the bottom, the drop-down list here will get updated as well automatically. Yeah, hope this helps. Hopefully this one give you a better understanding, especially on the steps.
Thank you, Mr. Tai. Mr. Tai, you can also share about the topics you discussed in your YouTube videos, so that if someone wants to learn new things, he know where to go exactly in your channel, because your channel is somehow have a lot of videos.
Yes. Okay, my channel usually is focusing on the practical usage, and particularly there are a lot of scenarios. Let me go to my channel. Okay, thank you for the reminder. Let me put it here. Okay, this is my channel, and if you go in, it has a lot of playlists. If you want to have a quick navigation, this is how I structure. You are able to see the practical Excel tips, basically based on the question I have received. It's a very small one. I will create the answer and show people how to do it. Excel project demos is to show you the possibility what Excel could do for you. Basically, these are the real project I have done, and I just make it with a dummy project or dummy data to show the possibility. The Excel fun projects is the things people sometimes I just want to have more fun, so I will create something. The thing I have done, like example, I have no idea what to eat, so I can let Excel to decide for me. It's fun thing. Excel challenge is the things a bit complex issue or complex question I will structure. Sometimes the video will be over 15 minutes and it has all the steps. You can pause it, make it slower, and you're able to see how this thing works. And sometimes I also conducted webinar. Usually it's more than 30 minutes. Sometimes it could be more than 60 minutes. So these are a bit more like this kind of session will be recording, will be posted there. So these are my past webinar. So if let's say you have certain question you need me, you want me to help you, you can send to me. I will able to do something. Maybe if let's say a small one, I can go to practical Excel tips. If something bigger, I can go to the Excel challenge. If something fun, I will make it like a fun project. So these are the playlists you can go to, and hopefully it helps you, because as and when I will update the video. Nowadays, my frequency of update the video is almost every week. I will update one video. So the video, the channel name is, you just go and search for ExcelSifu. ExcelSifu, you are able to find me there.
Mr. Tai, first of all, before we end this session and before we have the group photo, ISS Yemen would like to thank you for all your efforts, and we would like to present you a very simple trophy. It's, you deserve much better than this one, but this is a very simple one, and we would like to appraise your efforts and would like to thank you for all your efforts and the teachings you have given to all the attendees today. So thank you again, and we would like to, we wish in the future to have you again in our platform. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tai. We really enjoyed this workshop. We hope we can meet again in the future.
Thank you for having me to share the knowledge to all of you. And hopefully one day I will receive your success stories.
We hope so.
We
So for the trophy, we will contact you soon, and we will courier to your place.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, and wish you all have a nice weekend ahead, and wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tai. So we really enjoyed both sessions and hope the participants did as well. On behalf of ISS Yemen and all its members, we would like to give special thanks to Mr. Tai for this advantageous course and the great efforts he did. Thank you all for being with us throughout this journey. By here, we have reached the end of the course. Thank you so much for participating.